Hello everyone and welcome to another Torchlight Infinite video. I'm about to run the TA Traveler with my my latest moto builds. Or am I? Yeah, I am. Just need to finish this Watcher first. This is mostly based on the... There's a YouTuber called Laika who uploaded something similar to this last season, and this season he managed to achieve an insane amount of damage, but it seems like his version was kind of a glass cannon version, so I'm trying to do a more well-rounded version. So let's put it to the test. Get ready, switch to full-on damage. Just wait for the minions to be summoned, and I think here I actually want the recharge bit of the mitigation. Go. Basically just need to savage charge into the boss once to get the harden, and then just hang around the minions so we get the bonus from Nourishment Life. Should face him soon, but we'll still have to wait for the next phase. Spiral phase always makes you wait no matter what. Let us be just close to the outer edge, or when the spiral starts to spawn we don't take damage immediately. And then just move around in a circle. It definitely recharges a lot better for this fight rather than the extra. Messy. Would you please die already? Oh. Comes the spiral, and after this he will die. He always has to do at least 2 of these, and then he goes vulnerable. Oh, really? I need to talk as because I have a lot of XP. I don't want to lose. And he's dead. There probably isn't worth anything, is it? Yeah. I'll just save it. What about this? Yeah. Okay, that was TA Traveler. Just in time to get into the top 10 with Moto as well. Yep. Still no more than 10 people has done it on order calling. So let's go over the build really quick. Let me get this reward.
Gives a strange, dangerous.
Anyone that has seen Laika's video pretty much knows the setup. But for anyone that hasn't, the concept is basically we're doing Summon Thunder Spirits, and we're using our synthetic troops for supports and to improve our the slate setup. The hero memory setup that we use. So in terms of skills, we're using Green Phantom with only supports. The +1 is very important. The mark is extremely important. This, you can do whatever you want with this. You can do electric punishment for more damage, I think. But I kind of like blind, especially because I have a slate that makes it so blinded enemies cannot crit. So there's that. So I'm using this. Nourishment is mandatory if you're using this guy's Spirit Magi. I'm using Rhythm for, make it easy. And Mania and Pain Amp. I'm using the tree to make it so I have like a 95% uptime on this. Like I have maybe a 0.1 second where this is just down and then goes up again. So for mobility, this is one of the changes I made to the build. Is I'm using Savage Charge instead of Blink, and I'm leveraging the fact that Savage Charge is a melee skill to get Harden, which is a 20% less damage taken, and to generate barrier through Guard. Prayer is very important, so that the minions regenerate their life. They can keep consuming their life, and that way that they get the damage bonus. I'm using Machine Army instead of Dazzling Bloom. I found that with my current gear and setup, Machine Army is actually much better than Dazzling Bloom, but that might change once I get other sources of attack and cast speed. I think once you get a lot of gear, or you get cast speed on the weapon, attack speed on the weapon, something like that, you can switch this for Dazzling Bloom and it'll probably be better. But for now, Machine Army goes ahead. Okay, so the auras. This is another change. Instead of using the selfless setup, what I'm doing is I got a precise field conversion from my other character, and I'm using this to get swiftness because I like to move fast. I'm doing early rest for the extra defense. I'm doing Energy Fortress, of course, which I haven't been able to get the sealed, the precise version, but you definitely want precise version here. Precise Proc. Precise Proc has a chance to give additional Proc quantity, which for the Spirit Magus means additional damage for the enhanced skill, and the Precise Rejuve level 1 for the extra restoration speed. Then Spirit Magus is harvest time to get the chance to use enhanced skill. This chance to use enhanced skill, the closer to 100%, the better. It's a significant increase in damage. Servant speed for the additional attack and cast speed. Elemental duo to get +1 and also a multiplier. Free damage is probably the other better one that you can use, and multi-strike because of the setup that we're doing. Then precise auto defense with either force that I've been using several things here: protection field, or reform, frost shield. So far, I think reform is the one that seemed to work the best for me while clearing. But I think they frost shield reform comes very close. Protection field also comes close, but I've been one shot even through protection field. So I think reform comes slightly ahead. For the candles, I'm doing the same setup, which is the +2 with the aura effect per ally. The +2 is a boost, but the aura effect is a very, very significant boost. Like, I was doing maybe 3 billion with just the +2. This is where I'm at right now. This is bound to become better, I think, as I min-max the gear a little more. So I'm doing the actually pretty much the same tree here. This also is very important to get the increased enhanced skill level. Like, this meant a very significant improvement in damage. And of course, the minion skill level, you want skill levels everywhere. You want to get minion crit damage everywhere. And don't neglect your inner energy shield. Here is where I made most of the changes. First of all, I'm using this to cap my erosion rest. Once I have better gear, I'll remove these points. Instead of using the max 3 LE rest, I'm thinking Curtain comes slightly ahead for survivability. In an ideal scenario, you would want to use Reflection, but you need very good gear with reduced sealed mana to be able to overlap this with the Spirit Magus reservation cost. But otherwise, what I like about Curtain is it increases the amount of barrier that you get, and also when you lose the barrier, you basically restore a percentage of the ES that you're missing. So it's another recovery layer. Very, very strong. Getting attack speed, getting the seal mana, the energy shield charge speed, very important to me. And this is the other change. Instead of doing the empower level, this course will be more damage, but I didn't find it to be significantly more to justify not going into this defensive layer, which is some free LE res. It's not a lot, but there. And then this 16% less elemental damage taken, and also you convert 12% of physical damage taken into elemental damage. So that is basically 12% physical mitigation. You can also get this on a slate for 24% and then get it on gear as well to basically mitigate half or up to 100% physical damage through elemental. I'm also doing this cooldown recovery speed and skill duration. I found the skill duration to be very useful to keep Dazzling Bloom up. You may see, you'll see it go down like for a split second and then come up again. Same thing with Machine Army. So I really like those points. I would like to get more skill duration to have 100% uptime, but it's not. I don't think it's a huge deal. And then the aura effect, of course, is very important. I'm also not taking this because I don't think they make a huge difference in my opinion. The biggest would be, so this is like a 6% additional damage from the belts and like a 4% damage reduction. It's decent, but I think it's much better to get this for mitigation and then this for damage. So when I remove the erosion rest spot, I will get this for the pen, and I will have a little bit more damage. This still comes up ahead. I can see a situation where I could gear for poison immunity, and that will make you I think that could make you pretty much invincible. Once you get 5 max, you can get 5 max here. There's like 2 max here, and yeah, you just get the 2 max here. You convert some physical damage to erosion here. You can also get this node in the slates. You can get like, I don't know, maybe up to 90% max erosion res. You can get +3 on the body armor as well. So that could become an additional option. But you know, the Empower skill effect and the extra defensive skill level is very useful for this build. So for now, while you're not geared for this, I'll still go for knowledgeable. Then Blade Runner, pretty much standard, pretty much the same. I grabbed these points for shock, but I don't see shock being significant in terms of damage, so I might tweak this around. Like, this node adds plenty of damage, but you know, adding more shock chance doesn't seem to be relevant. So I don't know what's going on there with the shock. I grabbed this regain because now that I'm savage charging, I'm actually hitting the enemy, so I can benefit from regain. And same thing here, getting the pen and getting the additional settle, which again, I don't. It's giving me some damage, but doesn't seem that much. But it's just 1 point, so might as well. And this is where a lot of damage comes from, and this is where a ton of damage comes from as well. If you're asking, is this better than Alchemist? I tested it and it's better. For now, the difference is about, let's say, at 10 to 15%. Alchemist is less damage, 10 to 15% less damage, but it gives you like a little bit of flexibility by going source. You can change what you reserve, so you could potentially get more damage there. Also, you could go into Empower for more defense, and Talons of the Abyss adds a decent amount of damage as well. Battle Trumpet is not worth it because this build really wants to scale the minion attack speed, so you don't want Battle Trumpet in spite of this being very good. And you can get another source of generating barrier here, and this I really want this. This is very strong for survivability, and also the damage they can transfer to minions. So it's less damage, yes. If you're getting into the 500 billions already, I can see a scenario where you switch to Alchemist. You go to maybe 350, 400 billion, but you gain a significant amount of survivability. You still want to get the multi-strike elsewhere, or maybe you switch off multi-strike and go more traditional, just attack speed and raw damage. Okay, got the passive Slates, doing same 12 skills level. I like this, converted element physical damage to elemental damage. Blinded enemies cannot crit. Ideally, this is spell skill level and not just passive. Then energy shield cannot be interrupted 1 second. Very good for survivability. Additional charge speed. Mighty Guard for +2 initial growth. Very good amounts of damage. Then I got a +1 to all and 6% sealed mana here. So this is set in stone for me. And I got here this one, which is energy shield starts when you're on low life, and spell skill level, also very good. And crit damage for every point of chaos, which is like 50% crit damage. This comes in handy when we look at the gear. So same things, Fiend Crown, the seal matter, very good. You want to get this higher if possible, like get 10%. You want to actually get the elevated, or you know, the corroded version of this for like 80%, 80 to 90% crit damage. I think it's the range. The Loki is very, very good for lightning minions. The chest in the build, he's using the reservation chest. I forget what it's called. I was selling it actually. This one, Undying Faith. Undying Faith gives you like, so I figured you're getting the +1. Yes, you don't get +1 on a regular chest, but you can get the aura effect, and you can get more than this. And the additional damage doesn't apply to us. you can get more energy shield on another ESPs. So basically what you're missing here is the seal mana. Switch to getting the seal mana elsewhere, like the slate, like I'm doing, and then you can actually craft chess piece with in which you can get more aura effects. The only way I see this being ahead is if you corrode this mod, because that corroded mode becomes this one, life conversion, which gives you additional mana, and it reduces your seal mana considerably, 15%. So that's why I'm doing crafted armor instead of that one, and I'm leveraging getting additional focus blessings for the Winter of Origin and the aura effect, which you get tier 0 here daily. With the dream crafting, you can get this mod, which you need the breastpin for. The breastpin can get, in corroded you get up to 120%. With the corroded, with the dream crafting version, I think you can get that 80 to 100% range. If you use the actual piece, it's very expensive, so ideally you source it through farming the breastpin, or you just run it, right? Or you can do the light version for now. I'm getting +2 skill level. He's using an amulet that gives +3, so I'm getting just one less here. You could potentially get like have a +4 amulet, and you know the suffixes are trash right now. +2 spell kills level, pretty similar. Gloves. Winter Origin, you ideally want this corroded to this to get the 8%, and you also want this to be 4, and you want this to be the mean focus blessing that you have. If you have 4, you want this to be 4. If you have 5, that's fine, but ideally you want this mod to be 4. This was very cheap, by the way. This was like 80 FE. Winter Origins are very cheap right now. I haven't been able to get the corroded, so there's another potential upgrade here. The rings, my rings are bad. Ideally I want crit damage here because of the mod here, but the rests are good, and this mod is pretty good. Most likely the unique ring is better for damage, but I'm going for a more well-rounded build with more survivability for T8s and stuff. And the weapon, I want this to be a tier 0, but I've been running out of FE, and I don't really want to spend on a gamble for now. The crit damage here applies, so it's double dipping because it's giving it to the minion, and 40% of this, actually 30% of this, comes to me, and it's applied to the minion as well because of this mod. So it's a very good mod to have. Like with this, you want crit damage everywhere. Gloves, rings, both rings. There is also an option going to prisoner ring, which is 30% crit damage, but this percentage ES is a lot of defense. And the weapon, the most important mods here is the piece damage per life consumed recently, and you need to craft the consume max life. This mod is like a 26% chance to be slammed, so there is you will be spending quite a lot of FE to get it to a tier 1 or tier 0, and I don't know if you really want the tier 1 or tier 0 of this mod, but you definitely want tier 0 this. Explode, not really necessary to get tier 0. Like with this version of Explode, everything just gets destroyed. And that's gear. Let's look at the stats real quick. Don't mind the DPS. Don't mind this resistance either. I'm mostly running this setup in which I cap the resistance. 77. Once the minions, yeah, 77 is what I'm running with right now. So 77 elemental res, 75 erosion. In terms of this minion, which is the important, this number is probably misleading, but the important thing here is that the crit rating and the crit damage has to be very high. I would say this in the thousands is what you want to aim for a ton of damage, and most importantly, you want the chance to deal double damage here, which is up to 80%, and that makes a significant difference from what I can tell. Then resistances, Ambistorm armor from the Mind Infusion, but since I'm converting most of the physical damage to elemental, I'm not worrying too much about armor. There's a scenario where you could swap this chest piece for an armor piece or use steadfast also. I'm toying with that a little bit. I got a fair amount of recharge. My restoration, I don't have like reduced restoration delay. Ideally you want that for more survivability, and you know, plenty of movement speed. And I died like before I entered T7 T8s, I had like 5 deaths, and I've died trying to test things in T8s. So that's pretty much the setup. Don't consider this a build guide, it's more of a showcase, because I'm still testing it. Well, as you can see, it's fairly good for mid game, which is, you know, just T8 farming, but no bossing yet. If you have any questions regarding how this actually scales, how it works, or if you have any suggestions on gearing and stuff, feel free to leave it out in the comments. And if you made it to this part of the video, thank you very much for sticking to the end. And if you did make it to the end, leave a comment and tell me what is your favorite flavor of ice cream. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and thank you. Bye.